So if you guys have been watching my videos recently, I've been talking a lot about the promoted closets beta feature that's been on Poshmark. I was granted access to the beta program about 2 weeks ago, and I've kind of just been making some videos sharing my experience as I go through the beta program. If you guys are not familiar with the Poshmark beta program, I will link my previous videos up here, and I will also include the blog post kind of explaining what it is in the description if you guys want to read that first. But today I thought I would switch it up a little bit. I'm going to show you some of the items that sold this past weekend and then give you guys an update on what's been happening with the Poshmark promoted closet feature in my closet. Obviously, everybody who is part of the beta feature is having different experiences, so I can only speak on what I've been noticing and what's been happening, how I feel, my experience, all of that. Again, if you guys are part of the program and are seeing different results, I would love to hear from you guys. So leave some comments down below in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying or if you're having like a completely different experience. And then also, if you guys are not part of the beta program, after watching some of my videos, what are your thoughts? Like, is this something that you would be interested in, or are you still on the fence, or what's going on in your world? Anyway, I had a few pretty good sales this weekend. Again, it wasn't a whole lot, but I did sell some fun things, so I thought I would show you. My sales have definitely been up this month, like up by a lot, quite a bit. I'll show you a grid comparing my sales from this month versus last month, and the only thing that's really changed is the promoted closets. Not everything that I'm selling has sold through promoted listings, and it's really tough because I can't see what items sell through promoted listings. I only see the sales number, but I do have some stats here that I can share with you. So I started the promoted closets beta program on May 9th. In total, so this is like lifetime since May 9th, I've had 1,715 clicks. 8 items have sold from promoted listings, and that has been from a total of $226, but that is dollars including fees. I'm pretty sure that's not even like after Poshmark fees, so it's not been a lot. It hasn't been great. However, I do believe that me being involved in the beta program has also allowed other people to see my closet and has just promoted my closet in other ways too. So even though people aren't necessarily purchasing the promoted listings that Poshmark is pushing out, I'm still seeing an increase in sales, which at the end of the day is all that I want. All I want is more sales. I did read something though that said, I don't remember where I read it. It might have been in the Slack group. So there's a Slack group if you are part of the beta program that you're allowed to join if you want to. And it kind of goes through like just updates, and you give feedback if you want to on how the whole thing is going. But I'm pretty sure I read on there that there is like a 14-day period after somebody clicks your promoted listing. So say you have an item for sale, somebody finds the promoted listing for it, they click on it, but they don't purchase it for like 5 days. If they still go back and purchase it, you still get paid for that promoted listing. And there's a 14-day period. I think this is true. I want to say that I read it somewhere, but I couldn't find where I read that, so unfortunately I don't have like proof. But I want to say that makes sense. I'm not sure if eBay does that, but they might. If you guys have info on that, let me know. Okay, I had to grab my tape to tape this box. I did a whole like USPS supply run the other day, but I'm already out of like my regular boxes, so I just have these big ones, unless I'm blind. But anyway, let's get into the sales. I know I've been kind of rambling a little bit. Let's come down to the first thing that sold. I don't even need this box for it yet. So this first one is a dress by Lulu's. Lulu's is one of my bread and butter brands, and anytime I find it for a decent price, I will pick it up. Specifically their dresses. They're just so easy to sell. Like, it's so hard for me to pass up on them. But this is like so cottagecore. It's like this gingham print, very prairie style. I'm pretty sure those are some tags that I used for it. But I'm gonna put it in one of these bags. I'm sure I've showed these before, but I'm obsessed with these holographic mailers. You can get these on Amazon. I will link them down below. But I love these. This is how I store my inventory, but these items I didn't have stored. They were either in my store or I had just picked them up, so I hadn't gotten to inventorying them yet. So I'm gonna put them in here first, shove it in here, and then I will put it just in a regular Tyvek flat rate mailers. Those are like my favorite things to mail in because they're free. And when I spend money on something like this, I don't know, I just don't like having a lot of expenses when it comes to shipping because people just throw these things away. So I don't want to really invest in like crazy shipping supplies if I don't have to. So these are the mailers that I always use. I like to just re-secure them because I know that they can kind of come loose if you stick them right. Just put a piece of tape on there. And then put the mailer, the label on it. Okay, so this dress sold for $30. Nothing crazy. Honestly, I think I might have paid too much for these at Goodwill, for this dress at Goodwill. Oh well, it's out. I can use the money for something else. I think I might have profited like a couple bucks, maybe $10. Nothing crazy, but there you go. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably saw this. I went to the bins on Monday, so literally a week ago. Today's Monday. And this was just laying on the top of a bin, and I made a reel about it, and I like checked it all over for flaws, and I didn't find anything. So I was just like completely shook that somebody literally left this there. Like, you could tell somebody looked at it and was like, it was laid out like that, and they just left it, and I have no idea why. But it is Johnny Was. And this style, obviously, like, it's not one of the most pretty pieces. I want to say this is probably an older style, pretty basic. So I listed this at $50, and then I took a offer for $38. I think we went back and forth a little while, but $38 was what I ended up accepting, and I got paid out $30.40 for this. Or I haven't gotten paid out yet, but that's my earnings for this Johnny Was piece. For a bins find that sold in a few days, like, that's not bad to me. And it's an older style. Like, I'm not gonna go charging $100 for this kind of piece. It's not worth it. I could have held out, but like, if I can get a reasonable offer really quick, I'm gonna take it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be stingy or anything. So I was happy that this moved super quick. And then it was funny because a customer or a client of mine in store brought me a Johnny Was jacket, and I was like, oh, this one I can definitely charge more for. It's just funny how things work out, right? Like, you bring something into your life. I brought in this Johnny Was into my life, and then more Johnny Was came in. It's this whole like abundance mindset. I am so thankful that I have Johnny Was, and then I was brought more Johnny Was. That's how thrifting works, or that's how I like to think it works. You're just grateful for the pieces that you can find, and you'll find more of those pieces. I don't know which one of these items was sold through promoted listings. Unfortunately, they still haven't updated it for you to be able to see that kind of information, which personally I think that's like really important for this kind of, you know, this kind of feature. I know on eBay you can tell when something was sold through promoted listings. So it would just be nice to know, because then you could also know like what people are searching more specifically, and just you know, get better data from it. Next item, let's see here, is this jumpsuit, which I have been trying to sell in my live sales. Most of my live sales I've been trying to promote plus size items. I feel like that has been a niche that does really well in live sales, so being like very specific on sizing. And this was an item that I got on consignment. It's a cute romper. It's like a maxi romper. It's from Torrid. And I'll be honest, Torrid is not a brand that I typically pick up when I'm sourcing, unless it's at the bins. I won't pick it up at Goodwill because it's just usually overpriced in my area. But when I get it on consignment, it's like 100% yes, I will take it, because it sells so fast in my sales, in my live sales on Poshmark. People will request, they're like, list anything that you have in Torrid and we will buy it. And I'm just like, okay, let's do it. So I've been really happy about that, but this specific one, I put it in a couple shows and people didn't want it. I don't know if it was the size or what, but when I list something in a live sale, I just add pictures to it later because I don't always initially add photos, just to save time. But if it's something that doesn't sell, then I will add photos to it afterwards and then just have it up as a regular listing in my closet, and then usually they do sell after. So that's kind of what I did with this, and I'm happy that it's gone. Like I said, it is a consignment item. This one also sold for $38. It was really funny. I had like a bunch of like similar price sales. So this one also sold for $38, so I made 30 bucks on it. And then I have to pay out my client. I pay out 30%. So I get 70% of that sale, which isn't bad, honestly. Somebody was saying on, I think it was Becky Park on Instagram, she made a post about how people only show like the fancy solds, but they don't show the like regular price sales, like the just bread and butter sales, which when you really think about it, your business runs on bread and butter, or like my business runs on bread and butter. I can't tell you how your business runs. So like, why not be proud of the little sales too? Why only like, if you're only showing gratitude for like the larger sales, like yes, it'll bring in more large sales, but like you can't forget about the little guy, all the little baby steps that you're taking to get to that point. Okay, again, I'm rambling. Now we can return to this box. This next item was another Goodwill find. Can you believe it? This is Longchamp. I will show a close-up of the little logo right here. This is actually part of their men's line. It's not nylon, and that's usually the ones that I find are made of that like really easily foldable ones. This is more of like a canvas, and this is like a weekender tote, but this is part of their men's line. If I can open it, I can show you the tag inside of here, because it definitely looked different. Okay, I don't know if you can read this, but that is what it looks like on the inside. And they retail for a little bit more than the regular ones. I should take the Goodwill sticker out of here. But this is cool because then I can tell you how much I paid for this. So I paid $13 for this bag. This wasn't even in the purse section. It was in like the random tote section in the back because I didn't realize what it was. But yeah, I paid $13 for this. Which is so crazy. I stuffed it because I had it on display inside of my shop, but I'm actually going to use this to ship it. And then you can still fold this. It's definitely foldable. It's just not as easy to fold as the nylon version. Anyway, this bag sold by best offer. I took an offer on this for $95. Minus the Poshmark fee, I earned $76. So I paid $13, so I made about $53, right? Something like that. Not bad. I had it for a few months, but $53 is definitely like where my ideal profit margin would be. Especially when I'm using like reusable or free packaging things, then that doesn't cut into my profit either, which is wonderful. But yeah, happy about that sale. I was glad to see it go. Honestly, I was willing to take anything, any offer. I think I had it listed pretty high, like at $150, but I was happy to take that. Okay, so the next sale, I'm gonna find a different box for it because I don't have any smaller ones, but pause the video and tell me what brand this is. I'll give you a second before I let you know. And this should be a giveaway right here. I didn't know that they made boots, but these are Rothy's, in case you couldn't tell. There's the tag right here, or the label. I recently found like 3 pairs of Rothy's at this Goodwill, and they still haven't sold. They're all rare print too, and they're like a size 7, so I was just like kind of confused as to why like they weren't selling. Like last week or something I found these, so I was like debating picking them up because first of all, I've never sold their boots, and then I was like, oh, I don't know if Rothy's are still like popular because the other ones aren't selling, but these sold pretty quick. I also took an offer for these for $90, and again, I had these listed pretty high. I want to say $150. $150 is like my go-to for like higher price items, but I went to go look at comps and things were selling for around that price, and a lot of them were selling for even less than that, so I decided to take it. It literally still has like the plastic protection on the bottom, So these are in excellent condition, and yeah, not mad at these. I paid $15 for these, and they sold for 95, or they sold for 90. So minus Poshmark fees, I made 72. I'm not gonna do the math, but you can totally do it. I'm gonna find a box really quick. Okay, I found this Amazon box that I'm going to reuse. I just had to tape it up again. I'm gonna put some of this. This is like my favorite thing to do, is to just reuse shipping supplies, because I always get so many boxes, and also the studio gets a lot of boxes. So I'm just like, why waste it? I'm just gonna reuse it. And I also like am friends with a lot of other small business owners locally, and I'll just like raid their shipment stacks and take the boxes that will work. Just because if not, they're just gonna throw them away. They just recycle them. Like, might as well put them to use. You can always get those stickers that say, or like put a note inside that says like, I love to reuse shipping supplies. Try to reuse this box if you can, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So this is the last item that I'm packing up today. This was another bins find, which love selling bins finds. This sold by best offer for $42. Minus the Poshmark fee and minus the shipping discount, I earned $30.62. That's like my go-to right now for bins. Like if I can flip something that weighed almost nothing into $30, that's a pretty great margin. I was listening to this podcast, and it was talking about like the average boutique, like the average brick and mortar boutique, their like margins are their profit margins after all expenses. So after cost of goods, after employees, after payroll, after rent, utilities, all of that is only like less than 20%, which is so crazy to think about, because your sales could be like 100,000, but you only make not even close to that. Like you profit 20 grand or something like that. Sorry if my math is wrong, I apologize, but it's just such an interesting thing to think about, because I come from having my whole business model be online, not really having too much overhead, and then growing to this point now where I do have a brick and mortar and I do have overhead, but if I was just my brick and mortar, I wouldn't be able to cut it. I'm like just being very straightforward with you guys. Like I would have to put so much more into the business to get it to profit what I want it to. And so that's why I'm really thankful that I have both aspects. I have Poshmark, I have online, and I have brick and mortar. I also have other sources of income like teaching yoga or YouTube or, you know, all of these other things. They're all just like little additions to my income. So I guess this is just me promoting having multiple sources of income if you can. It doesn't have to be social media. It doesn't have to even be reselling related. But if you can have anything else to kind of supplement, it just makes things so much easier, and it makes the whole like overhead or cost of goods just not seem so big, and it just like makes it easier for you to run your business in a healthy manner instead of like relying so heavily on wanting your business to thrive because there's so much pressure on it. So yeah, try to diversify your income streams as much as you can, because trust me, you won't regret it. It'll be a lot of work definitely in the front to like set those things up, but once you have them running smoothly and you have different sources of income, it relieves that stress off of you. And then if one thing doesn't perform as well, at least you'll have something else to cover. Anyway, that's everything that I'm shipping for this weekend. Not a lot of sales, but I'm definitely noticing that my sales in May are so much better than April. April was a horrible month for me, both in store and online. I did make a video about it, and I'm already like surpassed what I made in April. I know it's not always great to compare your sales month to month, and if you have the data for it, to compare like how did I do in May of last year, which I'm still killing it. I'm just gonna say it. But it's just like kind of encouraging to know that like something that you're changing is working. Granted, it is the Poshmark beta program. I'm sure that's why I'm making more sales, because I'm not listing any more than normal, and I'm not promoting anything. You know, I'm not like sharing my closet more than normal. I'm just doing things as I normally would. But I don't know, I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to continue to pay. I will have to try it out for sure, because there's no way for me to know how it's going to perform when I'm actually paying for the program versus not. I don't even know if they're going to let us have that option to pay for it, or if we're only given this like brief stint and then they're going to like let other people join the beta. I really don't know. I should probably ask that in a group and get some feedback, but I would love to try it out after I'm through this free period, because right now Poshmark is paying for all the promotions, and just keep it at where it's at. So right now it's budgeting me $15 a week. I think I can manage $15 a week to keep this level of activity in my closet going. I think it could be worth it. And this is like completely going against my original thoughts on the Poshmark beta program, because I really wasn't sure if it was going to be worth it. Granted, the only promoted listings that I've done on like eBay, I've only promoted like 1-2%, because I saw some YouTubers say that that's what you were supposed to do, or that it works for them. I think it definitely depends on the size of your closet, what you're selling still, and just what your profit margins are, and if you can afford it. If I continue to shop at the bins and get consignment, it doesn't hurt that much. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye!